Kelly asked me what we're going to do this weekend. I said, probably just more of the same, sit around the house, not do much. I realized I needed to reassess that plan.
How's it going?
Going well.
Yeah? What are you about to do?
I'm going to go get in the car. I'm going to drive up to Squamish. I'm going to go through the physical border. I've never driven across the U.S. border before, so this will be the first experience.
You think they're gonna let you in?
Yes. Yes, I have a passport, and I have a vaccination card, and I have lots of charisma, and I have like $2 and a lottery ticket. So I have multiple means of probably legal bribery.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what the laws are like in Canada, but I'm sure it's loose. They have fewer people, so they don't need to be as strict in their policies, I'm sure, and implementations thereof.
Well, before we hit the road, can you do me a favor?
Hmm?
Can you show me some of that charisma?
I don't know how to not exude it, so yes, I guess. I mean, it's a confusing question, but. What are you doing? We're supposed to be getting in the car and going to
Just
Canada.
checking on Charlie before we leave.
Who's Charlie?
Our chickadee.
What's he doing?
He's standing guard.
Over what?
I actually don't know. His nest is empty, so. The food, perhaps?
We made it past our country's checkpoint. Canada is not excited to see us. We're getting ready to get the ankle bracelet. They may also microchip us, so if we stay too long, they can explode our brains. Ankle tagged, microchipped, and everything else, we finally made it to Squamish, and it was quite the sight to behold. Gorgeous. So we've arrived, and this is going to be our home for the weekend. We're getting our safety equipment in place. We survived the evening. Barely. Our destination, fortunately, was just a short walk from the campground, so we just needed to get ourselves together and get a move on. She told me this was a defunct railroad. Man, that was a bad idea.
Okay, so we cross the bridge and we basically go up. The first right after the talus field. So there's talus, stairs, steps, which are different than stairs, and then we go right.
We made it to our destination, and we just had to unpack and get ready.
Crux of the day is getting to the wall, getting the book out of the bag.
This is why we were not able to climb today.
It's humid, so I'm sure it expanded. And it wasn't at all a result of me tracking forward.
I took in the beauty while Kelly got her pre-climb barks out. And then we sussed out the competition. And then we read for a little while. The most interesting part about climbing is the amount of time you spend not climbing.
Have you come to kick my belongings down the hill?
Yeah, I'm tired of safety. Get this helmet out of here. How's it going?
Good. It's beautiful so far.
Yeah.
There's no one here.
There's no one here. These were the only climbers we saw all day. The weather is perfect. It's really pretty.
Gotten buzzed by a hummingbird twice.
Yeah, I got attacked by a hummingbird. It came at me when I was at a crux move, but I fended it off. And now I have a few more feathers to make into my cloak that I'm eventually going to have. I think I need about 1,000 hummingbirds. Was that what it was? I forget. We were reading about
More than
how to make.
maybe 2,000? There's
Cloak.
a lot of fucking hummingbirds.
Yeah, you need. So that's why we have the feeder up at the house. We've been attracting them, and boop, we just bop them, and then we keep getting their feathers. And then she's been sewing them into this thing. We're weaving in a little bit of gold too, so it's gold trim with hummingbird feathers. Mostly Anna's, but we're also working on getting some Rufus ones too for some of the accents. They're a little rarer in these parts and a little more tenacious, so you have to be a little more guarded because they do go for your eyes, but it.
You can't just boot those ones.
Yeah. Usually we kind of like
Tennis racket?
or bear spray or something. You got to really incapacitate them. Sometimes we'll put the hummingbird feeders on the inside of the window and we'll clean it really good. And that works because they stun themselves for like a microsecond. They're just so tough. But if you can get them at the right moment, you then just inject them with something and then they're out. It's like some formaldehyde or something. And then you get the feathers. So anyway.
It's an elaborate process.
Not really here to talk about that. But anyway,
We climb some stuff?
Yeah, let's go do that.
Yeah.
Being a duo, we didn't really get a lot of footage of ourselves climbing. This is the only route that we actually recorded, and it was the last route of the day. And we were moving slowly. This is at 20 times speed right now. That is one gorgeous man on some really pretty and mossy rock.
How was your experience?
Oh, this is terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, it reminds me when you know you shouldn't do one more, and if you do, it should be as easy as possible because that one's going to be hard. And this one I think was the hardest climb of the day, even if it wasn't graded the hardest. But I think for me, there was a bunch of crack moves and it just wasn't as sure of a thing. And then it was dirty and mossy, and so like you couldn't trust anything. And I just got like, I felt like I was a small child having a tantrum about halfway up, and I wasn't very happy with anything that was happening. You can take, I don't know what I'm doing. You can take, that's not a hole. I just don't got like stamina right now.
Okay.
I'm not sure what to do. I did it stupidly. I'm not sure. I don't want to race anymore. I'm gonna take. I didn't realize it was like this up there. Actually, I'm pretty tired. Can you just take? It's not the experience I wanted in my life. I'm gonna go drink cider. And by drink, I mean I'm gonna cut a hole on the bottom and I'm gonna flip the top open and I'm gonna drink it. I'm gonna pull this rope now. It's gonna fall. The next day we had to rearrange a few times. We couldn't find parking, and then finally we found a place, and it had a approach that didn't seem too bad. We weren't really sure what we had to get into, but we knew that it was going to be a little bit of an adventure. We got to the crag up ahead. I saw you had to stand on a slab, and it was very thin, so I said, let's just go home. And then we sat in traffic, and it was a good day. Good trip. Seriously, Squamish is pretty cool. No one else should go there, but it's really fun. It didn't seem like the US wanted to let us back into the country.